for an original song.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Honkai Quest. We're heading into the Elder Ruins now. Hey guys, puritysin here, and I just wanted to show you guys what's new in the crowd-made shop. I know you guys hate ads. I hate ads, but hey, this is the best kind of ad because it's from my shop. You guys can pick up the digital version of Chaotic Stories Issue 1, which we officially begin Issue 2. Starting next month, we begin working on it. Well, by working on it, I mean drawing it, so you can pick it up here. And keep an eye out, we're actually going to be doing a physical issue very, very soon. And we've also got awesome posters like this one, which is a hint to Issue 2. Along with this awesome little Carl poster. That's right, you can get this exclusively through the Crowd Made, along with Lord Cthulhu. How could you not want this poster? I know I want this poster. In fact, I'm going to be picking it up. And if you love Miko, you can get a bandana for your pet or even for yourself with Super Miko, Bat Miko, and Speed Miko on it. You can even get a memorial Forgotten Tune poster so you can remember them just like, well, nobody else. You can even get this cute little Carl and pet keychain. That's right, we got lots of new stuff, even stickers and other things, even this awesome mug. This one's really cool. When you add hot water to it, you get this awesome image. Lots of new stuff is being added every time. We've got a couple of new things in the works, including some awesome little wall scrolls, but shh, I'm not allowed to talk about that yet. So let's get back to the awesome episode. Thank you guys for watching. Late night that day, near the entrance to the Elder Ruins. Phew, here must be the Elder Ruins in the book. Yeah, that's right. Any adventurer who wishes to enter the Dark Lord's castle must pass the Grand Sage test here. Shut up, idiot Jin. I wasn't talking to you. Celie asked me a question and I was obliged to instruct her. Shut up, don't make me repeat. Delta gave the Water Jin a vicious look and silenced her immediately. Miss Delta, please don't be mean to Miss Water Jin. It was my bad, I shouldn't. Be quiet now as well, Celie. The silent ruins became even more eerie now that only their anxious breaths could be heard. Delta observed the surroundings with a clear head, but she could see nothing except endless broken walls. It's too quiet here, unnaturally quiet. Cecily, what's wrong with her? Does she always act this weird? Shh, don't talk, Miss Water Jin. Miss Delta might... Hey, idiot, Jin. What? I wasn't bad-mouthing you, not even a word. Can you feel the existence of water in here? Eh? Are you thirsty, Miss Delta? I have a few bottles of spring water in my backpack. No, Celie. I meant flowing water, idiot. Idiot Jin, is there flowing water in these ruins? Delta, didn't anyone tell you to ask nicely when you need a favor? I don't really appreciate your manners, you... The Water Jin stopped all of a sudden. She seemed to have realized something, and her face turned grave. No, I can't feel any running water here. No running water? Is that a serious problem? Running water means life, but everything here is still and dead. But isn't the Grand Sage supposed to be here? The Adventurer's Guide says the Grand Sage has been here for ages, waiting for a worthy adventurer to defeat the evil. But the book doesn't mention whether the Grand Sage is alive or not, right? You mean the Grand Sage might be dead? Or there wasn't any Grand Sage to begin with? Huh? If so, how did Branya and adventurers before her get to the Dark Castle? Yeah, how did they do it, Water Jin? Huh? Why are you asking me? I've never been to the Dark Castle. How should I know? Delta, I think you're being paranoid. And? Maybe this is part of the Grand Sage's trial. Maybe she concealed all signs of life, and she is watching how we would respond somewhere? Is it so? It's just a guess. Keep talking. Maybe the Grand Sage is behind some stone tablet. We should press on and look around. No, we're resting here tonight. We'll resume tomorrow at first light. Huh? Unknown dangers might be lurking in the darkness. Besides, Delta walked up to Silly and patted her on the shoulder. Wake up, Silly. Huh? Miss Delta? Sorry, I shouldn't have. Silly, over here. Oh, okay. Silly followed Delta to the broken wall a few steps away. It's a few hours before dawn. Silly, drop your backpack and sleep here. You didn't get any shut-eye for 2 straight days. Rest well and we'll continue at dawn. Eh? There's a small patch of grass here. Beats the hard ground of rocks. You seem aloof, but you actually really care. Whatever. Then I should probably have a rest too. The ground over there looks flat, so I'm gonna go to sleep there. Let me see if I can make a water bed with my aqua power. Don't go too far. Water Jin sauntered away, yawning. Silly lay on the small patch of grass and used her cloak as a blanket. She then scooched over to make some room. Miss Delta, would you like to lie down here? The scratch patch should be enough for the both of us. Nah, I'll go over there. Delta pointed to a pile of broken steles nearby. What? Those are rocks. You won't be able to have a good sleep on them. It's the best spot for night watch. I have a wider view there, and I can help the both of you in case of an emergency. Night watch? Aren't you going to sleep? You don't look tired at all, though. I'm used to staying up late. Plus, when spending the night in the wild, you have to have someone keep watch. It's basic knowledge for adventurers. Oh, right. Now remember, I read it in the Adventurer's Guide. Well then, can I watch tomorrow? Nah, it's that idiot Jin's turn tomorrow. Snoring sound. Water Jin's loud snore came from a cool night breeze. Can't believe she already fell asleep. Meh. Delta grabbed her weapon and walked towards that pile of steles. Stels or steles? Thank you, Miss Delta. For what? I think this is the adventures of the brave, as I have always imagined. Strong determination, reliable companions, and excitement about the unknown future. Don't thank me. It's you who made the move. I did nothing. If you have to thank someone, thank your own courage then. No response was heard. Delta turned around, only to find that Silly had fallen asleep. Delta let out a sigh. She then walked to the pile of stellies, sat down, and quietly looked up to the clear, starry sky. She could feel her fatigue. She was just trying to elude sleep, or more precisely, its derivative dreams. Delta hadn't had any dreams for a long time. Dreaming is a sign of deep slumber, while Delta could wake up at any second. Close her eyes, clear her mind, and open her eyes 5 minutes later, this had been her way of sleeping. However, this time she suddenly heard something the moment she closed her eyes. It was a piercing howling wind. Delta immediately opened her eyes, only to find herself laying thick in snow. She tried to stand up, but the snow trapped her like quicksand. The harder she tried, the deeper she sank. Her body temperature kept dropping. She gradually lost consciousness. In a deep daze, she heard someone calling her name. Not her code name Delta, but her real name, the one she had lost a long time ago. She recalled that night of raging snowstorms, where this endless nightmare began. Actually, she wished it was just a long nightmare, because no matter how terrible nightmares appeared, they would always dissipate when she woke up in the morning. And her loved one would be by her side, gently wiping her tears. But how could she ever wake up in reality? Delta pinched herself as hard as she could. The glaring sunlight hurt Delta's eyes. Owie. To her surprise, she had a headache. She rubbed her forehead in bewilderment. What happened? I fell asleep? But why? Celie? Idiot Jin? No one answered. There was nobody in view. Only Celie's little backpack was laying on that patch of grass. I shouldn't have let my guard down. You have something to do with that weird dream I just had, don't you? Delta looked up at the small figure perched on top of the stone wall in front of her. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm not in a good mood right now. You better not beat around the bush and waste my time. Waste your time? There must be some misunderstanding, adventurer. You're talking to the legendary Grand Sage, the Master of the Ruins, and the arranger of your trials. Wow. Looks like we met the Grand Sage after all. You're talking to the legendary Grand Sage, the Master of the Ruins, and the arranger of your trials. The Grand Sage, you, huh? I assumed you'd be much bigger than this. Seeming a bit annoyed at Delta's taunt, the sage flew to a taller stele and stood on top of it, looking down at Delta. The grand in Grand Sage doesn't refer to the size of a structure. Rather, it's about the massiveness of my wisdom, insight, grace, and... Cut the crap and just tell me how to get to the Dark Castle. Though Delta hadn't made any move, her tail had already raised her great sword and pointed it at the small figure. Alas, young adventurers always lack patience. The Grand Sage didn't seem to be daunted by Delta's threat. She let out a sigh and nudged the tip of the sword aside. Before you start to explore the ruins, don't you want to know where your missing companions are? At the moment, they might be suffering or facing terrifying enemies somewhere in the ruins. So what? Huh? What did you say? What does their suffering have to do with me? You are a bitch! Are you saying that you won't tell me how to get to the Dark Castle unless I save them? Of course not. I'm just shocked to see an adventurer abandon her companions without hesitation. I'm not an adventurer, and they are not my companions. Alrighty then. Well then, adventurer, it's time to follow my guidance and finish your trials in the ruins. The Grand Sage took out a roll of parchment from her sleeve and cleared her throat. Master Adventurer, welcome to this time-honored Elder Ruins. You and your pals will first experience the amazing magic of displacement. If you are separated from one another under the magic, please do not panic, as it will be the ruins' test of you. Your friendship and lofty ambitions will bind your hearts together and lead you through the trials to the secret... Bam. Delta abruptly slashed the steel, which the Grand Sage was standing on, in half. Get to the point. I don't have time for the beginner's tutorial. Be patient, adventurer. Listening to the Grand Sage's instructions is part of your trials. Can't I skip this part and hear my quest late already? No, you cannot! It's how the system works. I have a skip button right here, don't try me. Ugh, fine, whatever. I skipped her dialogue anyway. How about we try something simpler and more efficient? I ask you questions and you answer them with a simple yes or no. You think you can do this? The Grand Sage glanced at the slit steel and the pink greatsword in front of her and nodded with a shiver. Question 1. Salil and the idiot Jin are both alive and haven't left the ruins, yes or no? If you're referring to that other two adventurers, then yes. Question number 2. There are other Grand Sages in the ruins, yes or no? But how did you know? I just took a guess. According to you, all adventurers will be tested separately at different locations in the ruins. Which means I've met you, Salil, and the idiot Jin met their own Grand Sage, who's given them instructions. Of course, it's also possible that you test us at different times, but your reaction just now validated my first guess. I don't like you. Well then, question number 3. What should I do to leave this place and get to the floating isles and the dark castle? Miss Adventurer, could you please show some respect for the ruins and me? Who would ask for walkthroughs about the final boss stage at a newbie tutorial? Players who are only interested in the results like me? Fair enough. Fine. If you're in such a hurry, here's the most difficult puzzle in the ruins. Because you're a bitch. I'm listening. Imagine that this complicated array of puzzles of the ruins is something like a board game being played by the gods, and the adventurers are observers of the game. Even if they knew every rule, however, they might not be able to understand why the particular card is played in the game. If this is Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm gonna smack you. But when they know the rules, they consider that they can solve all the puzzles of the ruins. This is one of the oldest puzzles of the ruins. No adventurers ever solved it. You don't understand a word of it, do you? You were like... I know this reference. It's from Feynman's lectures on physics. Wait, what? The original text should be, what we can imagine that this complicated array of moving things, which constitutes the world, is something like a great chess game, being played by the gods, and we are observers of the game. Even if we knew every rule, however, we might not be able to understand why a particular move is made in the game. If we know the rules, we consider that we understand the world. That's all I could remember. That book was so boring, I only read a few pages before I gave it away. Who would have thought your puzzle comes exactly from the few pages I read? Alright, so what's the question? Of? This isn't right. Why would you know the content of the scripture left by the Grand Sage? Left by the Grand Sage? I mean, no! I didn't say anything. You heard nothing. Alas, Jingwei, you're such an embarrassment. You've wasted so much time and still failed to take her out. And you almost revealed our secret. Shame on you. What, Jingwei? I'm the Grand Sage of the ruins. Save it. You've only been disgracing the Grand Sage, you little coward. Delta turned around and saw an indigo figure about the same size as the Grand Sage. She was standing on a higher stele, looking down at the two. So, you're another Grand Sage, huh? Oh, she's freaking adorable. I want her. That's right. I am the true Master of the Ruins, the Herald of the Freezing Netherworld, the Dark Angel of Eternal Sleep, the Grand Sage X. Are you trying to be funny? I like Delta. Though the Grand Sage looked embarrassed, she still managed to maintain her poise for her debut. Oh, that's her persona. You know, some adventurers like this type. Why are you here, Grand Sage X? I wouldn't stop for fatuous adventurers who couldn't even pass the first trial. You're saying they both failed? Correct. Now it's your turn, Before the Grand Sage X could finish talking, the Grand Sage hurriedly flew over and muffled her. She was just saying, darling adventurer, it's time to start your trial, right, Grand Sage X? Yep. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Whispers. What are you doing? You almost spilled the beans. Hi. You don't even know what we're dealing with. See those thick stone steels? You just cut them like butter. I was just worried about you, and I don't want to play the game with them anymore. I never win. Alright, alright. I'll think of some excuse to trick her. You play along and follow my lead. You know there's no team channel for you two, and I can hear you, right? Anyway, time is running out. Get ready for your trials, adventurer. Okay, I'd like to see how you're gonna trick me. Ahem, please follow me to this ancient triangular stele array, adventurer. Please stand on the circular floor surrounded by the 3 steles to activate the device. That's it? You call this a trial? This is just the beginning. The trials are designed to be evolutionary processes of increasing difficulty. Don't waste too much time on the beginning. Just stand there so that we can give you further instructions. Delta casts a suspicious glance at them, and then casually walked to the spot as they instructed. The next moment, the 3 steles began to emit green light, forming a cage with a click, which trapped Delta inside. So, this is the real trial of the adventurers. Save it, you crafty Dark Lord. Dark Lord? Who would have thought the Dark Lord has secretly evolved this far? You even have a human form now, and you used it to trick those adventurers. Thank goodness we saw through your ruse before it's too late and transferred the 2 adventurers to a safe place. What is your evil plan? To murder the adventurers, to steal the secrets of the ruins, or... Bam. Delta suddenly thrust her great sword into the ground. You call yourselves grand sages? More like grand morons. I couldn't be less interested in the adventurers or the stupid secret of your stupid ruins. I told you, I just want to know the way to the Dark Castle. Delta then stamped her foot on the ground a few times. That click came from underground, right? And it doesn't sound solid when I hit the ground with my sword or foot. There's a space there, am I right? Shoot! These steles and broken walls are all just camouflage. The real ruins are underground. Don't bother to think of an answer, Grand Sages. The looks on your faces already gave me the answer. As for how to get down there, I won't need your help on that either. You alright, Miko? Delta tightly grasped the hilt. Countless cracks began to sprawl on the ground from the landing point of the blade. Wake up, Sleeping Beauty. Shatter this place for me. Well, we're gonna see the next part next time, guys. See you then.